So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. You should have an agenda with the names of our speakers today and their spellings as well as their titles. We will have remarks by all of our four speakers. Then there will be an opportunity for Q&As, and then we will take some photos with the families that are present as well as our additional guests. This is also being streamed live on our website, and we really appreciate you being here today. The Harris County Sheriff's Office is making history, and with that said, I'd like to introduce Mr. Bobby Singh, who's the Regional Director of the Sikh American Legal Defense and Education Fund.
Honorable Sheriff Garcia, honored guests and friends, welcome. My name is Bobby Singh. I am a proud Harris County resident today, a community volunteer, and a friend to Sheriff Garcia. Like this journey, there's no journey that's taken alone. So in this journey, there have been many folks and stakeholders which allows us to get from here to there. So if I may take a personal privilege to recognize a few. Friends at ADL are present here with us today. Friends from the Interfaith Ministry are present here today. The Indo-American Chamber is present here today. There are many other nonprofit organizations who are present here with us today. I want to give a kudos to the leadership of all our Sikh Gurdwaras, our worship centers, and the congregation at large. Because for them to open their Gurdwaras, our worship centers, for the sheriff and the command staff, so they can come to the congregation Sundays, and we welcome them as they welcome us. So thank you for what you have done for the sheriff in that regard. Also want to especially recognize my dear friend, our local lawyer, shining star, who's been in our trenches with us, our legal counsel, Manpreet, if you would, come on over here on my right, if you would. She has been a young attorney, clearly made a difference with this and many other things we do together in Houston, Harris County. Special thanks to the HCSO legal counsel, because anytime you have policies like this and documents that you have to ensure are buttoned up and tidied up, there are many hurdles. So thanks so much to the experts who put this together. Obviously, this event wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for our media person of interest. Where's Christina? She's hiding. Hey, Christina, thank you so much for putting this thing together. You are a professional. We appreciate your time and leadership with what you have done today. The year is 2008, and it was December 14th. Sheriff-elect Adrian Garcia came to the Sikh Center right after the Thanksgiving incident of the Sikh family. And in his remarks, he said the following, and I quote, "It's unfortunate that we are getting to know each other under these circumstances." End of quote. He also added, end quote, "I hope to change by expanding diversity training, creating an advisory committee composed of all the county's diverse groups, and recruiting a Sikh police trainee." End of quote. This he stated when he visited December 14th, our Sikh Center in 2008. That visit left a mark on the sheriff, and once he took the oath of office, he said to me, "Bobby, I promise you this, we will make it right." And I think with this gathering, it's not a right for the Sikh community, it's a right for all Harris County constituents today. In his first few months in the office, he expanded the diversity training for all sheriff's office personnel, overhauled the handling of complaints against deputies from the public, established regular faith leaders meetings, and created a citizen advisories council to foster and improve communication with public. The ask continued from us to have an accommodation policy in place which would allow constituents of Harris County to serve without sacrificing our faith. If the accommodation policy is good enough for the US military, that accommodation policy is good enough for the Harris County Sheriff's Office. I'd like to thank Sheriff Garcia, the command center staff, and rest of the HCSO family for their dedication as they continue to serve Harris County constituents today. Today, the Sikh Americans of Harris County are proud as together with Sheriff Garcia, his staff, and Deputy Sandeep Dhaliwal, we make history. Together, we have reached a new milestone in practice of one of America's most cherished principles, the right to practice one's faith. Sheriff Garcia also recognizes that there's talent within the Harris County that was untapped, and this policy will increase the pipeline of Sikh American youth who want to serve in Harris County or their local communities across the United States. This will become a model for others across the country to follow. We lead. Together, we are creating a new path and are making a difference. There are many hurdles from legal to dress code, what color turban Deputy Dhaliwal was going to wear, to what kind of mask he was going to wear to protect himself. Sheriff Garcia continued on his mission to ensure that we continue to find ways where we would all collectively see this day. This day is here. He's made it happen. It's a new day in Harris County Sheriff's Office. The star of this day is my sheriff, your sheriff, and our sheriff. Please help me welcome our sheriff, Honorable Adrian Garcia.
Thank you, Bobby, and I think it's appropriate to say Sat Sri Akal. And today we are making history. But I, with all due respect, must say that the heavy lifting is not mine. All I did in 2008 was listen to a community that has proven itself to work hard, a community that has proven to play by the rules, a community that has proven to want to be an integral and productive part of our society. I just listened. And what I heard rather was that people don't understand. People haven't had or get a lot of misinformation. And so I want to thank Bobby for his leadership and his painstaking efforts with me, because we quickly got to work understanding that the framework for understanding the Sikh community was non-existent on January 1st, 2009. It was non-existent. We literally started from the ground up. And so one of the first things that Bobby and Preet and others made available to us was the training video on common ground. And we immediately made that video available to the entire Sheriff's Office, requiring everyone to view it so that they could better understand. And Bobby, this is not Bobby's first rodeo. Bobby has helped me and has worked with me from my days with the Houston Police Department and my time on council. So, Bobby, thank you for being a good steward of the community. Thank you. But if I may so respectfully say, Sardarji Dhaliwal is the one who has done some of the heavy lifting. Sardarji Dhaliwal. But Papa Dhaliwal has done the greatest heavy lifting. And the story is that when I visited the temple, I also said that I would do all the things that Bobby mentioned. We will work to provide training. We will work to give the employees a better understanding and work with the community. But I also said that we will continue to be challenged unless the community shares some of their own with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. And so Sandeep was a businessman at the time in that temple. And as he tells me, he talked to his daddy, said, I heard what that man had to say. And it makes sense. And I think I want to help. And so he got permission, as a good son should, from his father and his mother. And he left a very lucrative business and took an incredible pay cut. So where's your beautiful wife? She's been carrying the load. Thank you. Thank you. Took an incredible pay cut and started as a detention officer. Worked as a detention officer, played by the rules, proved himself, and over those 4 years, he worked as well to get his license to become a full-time commissioned peace officer. And for the last 2 years, Sandeep has been patrolling the streets of Harris County. Sandeep has been putting his life in harm's way. Sandeep has been serving the citizens honorably. Sandeep has been arresting a few people. Right? And in fact, Fabian, come over here, man. This is one of Sandeep's patrol partners. And so Sandeep has been everything we have asked of a public servant. He has been a servant leader. And my commitment to the community was that we would make sure that tokenism or window dressing wouldn't be how we count change, but rather that we would make a meaningful difference, that we would make a transformational difference, that we will celebrate diversity to its fullest within this great community that is already known for its rich culture and international diversity. Why not take it to the next level? And so the fact that we're adding religious freedom should not catch anyone by surprise, especially in this great country. And so last year, through the painstaking work of General Counsel Bobby mentioned, legal staff, General Counsel Jim Leitner, thank you for your leadership and putting your pen to paper and making the policy happen. This gentleman helped us to craft this policy and made sure that it made sense, made sure that it was within the constraints of the law, and so we finally got it put in place as of last year. And as Bobby has mentioned, this is new for the Sheriff's Office, but it is not new for the United States government. Already, we have U.S. military who are members, who are Sikh Americans, who are proudly serving our great country in the U.S. Armed Forces. Already, that has been a part of this country's great history. And already, other departments across the country. I wish I could have been the first across the country. But I'm glad that we're first in Texas. And other police departments have already created this ground. And so we've learned from them. In fact, it was a good thing to see in the most recent Rose Bowl parade, where members of the military and members of the armed forces who happen to be members of the Sikh community were a very visible and proud part of a well-known event known as the Rose Bowl Parade. And so we continue to move forward. We continue to embrace our community. But as Bobby mentioned, this has been a journey that started in an unfortunate manner. It started because the department was a bad teacher and didn't teach its employees well enough. That was an unfortunate experience. Today, that is no longer the case. And so my commitment was to make sure that we open the minds and the eyes of our employees and made sure that the Harris County Sheriff's Office would be a welcoming organization to others like Sandeep. And in fact, it is. I want you to now take notice that we have a communication officer, Navdeep Nidger, right here, who is also serving the citizens of Harris County. He is currently listening to the calls for urgent services from the citizens calling 911 to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Soon, he'll also be wearing a uniform like this one. And so Sandeep has been a pioneer, but Sandeep is now being a role model. And so we're very, very excited. And so when I look at where we're at today, I am extremely proud of the progress that we made. And obviously, with every milestone that we hit, there'll be another to strive for, and we will continue to work hard to continue our progress moving forward. Now, I want to make sure you understand that Sandeep is by no means window dressing. He's in a patrol car. He is, in fact, where's Major Marino? One of our most productive patrolmen out on the streets of Harris County in the Northwest area. And he's writing quite a few tickets. So just take notice. Hey, Doc, good to see you. Come on, join us over here. Dr. Devander Bhatia is one of our proud medical professionals, but he is also a member of the Harris County Sheriff's Office Foundation, who is helping us in other ways of serving the community. So thank you for joining us today. But at this time, I am proud to pin Sardarji's star with his badge.
So Nihal.
At this time, let me ask Jajit if he will stay and share a few words with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's humbling to be among so many community members, prominent members of law enforcement. It's really a privilege and honor to be with you on this historic occasion. My name is Jasjeet Singh. I'm the Executive Director of the Sikh American Legal Defense and Education Fund from Washington, D.C. And, you know, first of all, thank you, Sheriff Garcia, for everything that you've done for the community. It really is remarkable. You said you weren't the first in the country, but you are the largest in the country to allow Sikh Americans. So we want to thank, of course, Deputy Dhaliwal for his service, his dedication, his blazing a new path forward. And of course, Bobby Singh, our Regional Director, Manpreet Kaur, Christina, the comms team. There's been numerous people thanked already. We just want to echo that. We have our colleague, Minnie Tamaraju here from Washington, D.C. as well, the head of the National Coalition of Asian Pacific Americans. So happy you could be here with us. Today,
Harris County has shown us that service to your community is open to anyone, regardless of your faith or your background. They also recognize that to be a Sikh, to wear your articles of faith proudly, is an integral part of practicing your faith, of who you are as a Sikh and as an American. Expressing your faith is part of the America that we have all come to know and love. Our turbans and beards, they represent our belief in equality. They represent a lifetime commitment to selfless service and to the welfare of all. Even more importantly, HCSO and Sheriff Garcia have further established their roles as leaders on a national scale for their commitment to pluralism and diversity within their department. Now, as I said, this is the largest police department in the entire country to make such an accommodation. It joins the Washington Metropolitan Police Department, Riverside County, and other agencies who have done so. But in doing so, they demonstrate how to uphold and strengthen America's greatest ideals: freedom to practice one's faith while upholding justice and safety in all of our communities. Furthermore, HCSO has inspired a new generation to serve their communities because of the Sheriff's Office and because of people like Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal. We have seen Sikhs across the country proud to show their children that here in America, a Sikh can serve as an officer of the law without compromising his or her faith. The Sikh American community is committed to maintaining strong working relationships with law enforcement, and for that reason, SALDEF had built the Law Enforcement Partnership Program back in 1999. The Law Enforcement Partnership Program began as the first formalized cultural awareness training for law enforcement about Sikh Americans on a federal, state, and county level, and we've been proud partners with the HCSO for over 6 years. So, in closing, today history is being made. Today, the HCSO joins the U.S. Army, in which 3 Americans serve with their turbans and beards due to its religious accommodation policy. They join Alameda County in California, where Harinder Kaur Khalsa serves as a deputy sheriff. They join our nation's capital and the United States' closest allies, Canada and Great Britain, in which Sikhs continue to serve on a national and local level. They join Sikhs who are featured in the most important parts of our shared history, including over 200,000 who fought for the Allied forces during World War I and World War II. Thank you again, Sheriff Adrian Garcia and the HCSO for their leadership, and for Deputy Dhaliwal for his ongoing commitment to serving his local community, as Sikhs have done for their 125 years in this country.
Thank you. And before we ask our proud member of our organization to share a few words, I do want to take a point of personal privilege. We are joined by Dr. Bhatia, and Dr. Bhatia is an integral member of the Harris County Sheriff's Office Foundation, an organization made of private citizens who are helping us do phenomenal things. And one of the major contributions they have made to the Harris County Sheriff's Office is working to establish a proud and honorable and respectful memorial so that we can honor the memory of those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in their service to this great county. So Dr. Patil, would you like to share a few words, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff, for inviting me up here. My name is Dr. Devinder Bhatia, and I'm one of the founding members of the Harris County Sheriff's Foundation. And a few years ago, Sheriff and I and about 25 other gentlemen sat down and decided, what could we do to help support all the great work that everybody has done here in the Sheriff's organization. And we formed the organization and basically support the Sheriff and the deputies in whatever way that we feel and what Sheriff Garcia has felt would be most beneficial to support the community. And so on behalf of the Sikh community and the Harris County Sheriff's Foundation, I want to personally congratulate Deputy Dhaliwal, and I'm very proud to see you up here as the first Sikh deputy in the Harris County Sheriff's Foundation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And so, on this occasion, I think it is important to say Vadaiho to Sandeep.
Thank you, Garcia. Thank you, Sheriff Adrian Garcia. I'd like to thank all of my command staff for their support, my colleagues, my patrol deputy, Mr. Jasjeet Singh from Saldev, Ms. Sona, and Mr. Bobby Singh, Christina Garza, for their support. And so we are here today. And I'd like to thank my father, Sheriff Singh Dhaliwal, my mother, Surendrajit Kaur Dhaliwal, my wife, for their support, that they supported me from the first day as I was running a business, like you said, and sold it in a few weeks as I heard the news, heard the message that, hey, come on for a background check. So, so that was an exciting moment for me, and here I am today. Well, I joined the Harris County Sheriff's Office in 2009 after Sheriff Garcia visited a Sikh temple in Houston. The first sheriff to visit a Sikh temple in Houston ever. I always had the desire to be a police officer. And as my father, he served in the Navy, Indian Navy, and my uncle, who is in India, served in the Indian military. As a Sikh American, I felt the need of representation from Sikh community in the law enforcement in Harris County Sheriff's Office. I sold my business and made a decision to become a police officer and serve my community and citizen of Harris County. Sikh Americans have been active contributors to America for over 125 years, initially as a laborer and farmers, but then as a soldier in both worlds. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, and educators, dedicating their lives to service and exemplifying Sikh principles, which includes hard work, selfless service, and ensuring the welfare of all. Today is not uncommon, but it is certainly something to celebrate, given the American belief in the freedom of practice one's faith. Police forces across the country, as well as the National Army, have granted exemptions to Sikh Americans so they could serve, including Washington, D.C. and Riverside, California. That's why I'm honored to serve my greater community and a citizen of Harris County as part of Harris County Sheriff's Office. Today is very significant. Sikh value community service. Serving in the police force is natural to us. With this accommodation, more young Sikh Americans will be able to continue to build upon this tradition while also keeping their article of faith. Today we move forward as a diverse force, diverse police force in Harris County. Harris County is a very diverse county, and having a diverse force allows us to better serve all residents. Religious diversity and representation of that religious diversity goes hand in hand with the effort to create a more diverse force. I'm so deeply appreciative that Sheriff Adrian Garcia and Harris County Sheriff's Office command staff recognizes that the Sikh article of faith are integral to being Sikh and given America's belief in freedom of religion, that they have made this accommodation today. So I thank you all very much for being here. Thank you. Yes, I will.
Will you take a couple questions, sir?
Oh,
something else. Excuse me.
Yes. मैं सारिਆਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦਿਨ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just, before we get to the Q&A, very quickly just say that, as I mentioned, as we welcome Sandeep into his more complete role, we also are excited that Navdeep has joined the ranks, and we look forward to his day that I can pin his the star as well. And actually, this is going to be happening in the spring. I think it's the schedule for it, right? Wonderful. And then also, it's important to note that this announcement goes beyond today. SALDEV will be providing training, law enforcement partnership program for our employees later this month. And this is going to further expand the understanding, the full knowledge, and help answer questions and dispel myths. This is a very, very integral part of this process, and we want to thank SALDEV for their wonderful leadership and partnership as well. I also want to recognize that Martin, thank you for coming. Martin is with the ADL, another very important partner to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Thank you for your work in helping us eliminate hate in Harris County and across the country. Thank you. And now with that, we're open for questions.